Welcome friends. Today we will be taking up the one of the very crucial topic, that is injury and its report making, report writing. Most of the time we have gone through all the this labor and this elaboration and lectures. Just the end result is how much and how perfectly or how concisely we prepare our reports in the examination. So we should be very careful and try to analyze the patient, try to analyze the injuries, try to analyze the circumstances and prepare a good report and good and complete report which includes all the injury aspect, including site, size and depth and nature, sometimes burn or blunt or stab or all that we have to go through, and we should be able to know and interpret the x-rays regarding that, the CT finding regarding that, and so that we can be able to prepare a proper injury report and give a certain opinion that it is a simple injury, grievous injury, injury can be dangerous also, or caused by some weapon if possible, and give a police a definitive clue about the injury, so that they can put certain IPCs in that and can prosecute the accused in that. We should be having this mind in that our injury report is the first legal document that is being prepared by us, and it is a very responsible work, very responsible work, and we should not be very negligent in that, and we should not be biased. Sometimes bias can be any form, so we should be very much careful, and it is our duty, national duty, and it is an human duty also, that we should prepare a good report and good and opinion oriented report. For this we have injury report is a formal document that provides detailed information about injuries sustained by an individual. It typically includes description for the nature, extent, location, possible causes of injuries. Injury reports are commonly prepared by healthcare professionals, forensic experts, law enforcement officer, and authorized individual who have examined or investigated the injury. So we have healthcare professional, mainly these are the people who are the first responder to the patient with injury in primary health care centers and community health care center, and as well as the district hospital, then in the medical college. In further there is the expertise is needed, then the forensic experts are called upon, whereas the law enforcement agencies mainly in India are the helping hand in preparing the injury report. So we should be very much aware that we have very big responsibility of collecting the evidence, preparing the report, and giving the opinion about that, and we should not be careless in this. Importance of injury reports: it is documentation of evidence. We document all the evidence, so and then injury report itself become an evidence, documentary evidence, as a legal evidence, criminal trial, civil lawsuit, and insurance claim. These reports can be used as an evidence in different trials like criminal trials, civil trials, and insurance claims. Forensic analysis: forensic experts rely on injury reports to analyze the cause, manner, and mechanism of injury. Sometimes forensic science people are very much dependent on that, on our reports, so we should be very much careful that our reports go in many hands, and most of the sometimes judgments depend on injury description, and we should be aware that we are very responsible person for that. Injury reports guide medical diagnosis and treatment by providing healthcare providers with critical information about the nature and severity of injury. the nature, that is about the blood force and all that, severity, that it is simple or grievous or caused by a dangerous weapon or it is a dangerous injury. So yesterday we in previous lectures we all discuss about dangerous injury, we all about discuss about the grievous injury and the injury that likely to cause death. So such all injuries can be categorized and summarized in proper format which is being prescribed by the institute which we through in which we work, and we should be very much clear that we should fill all the performers which are attached to it and should not leave any of the performer line or any of the column blank. So we should either write it is present or it is absent or anything which is relevant there, it should not be left blank. Importance of any report. Victims advocacy. Injury report serves as a tool for advocating for victims of violence, abuse and neglect. Means if somebody is being violated or some violence has happened, then it is a very good evidence for them. Abuse or some means of abuse like child abuse and all that, it is the when we prepare the report, then that becomes evidence and that supports the cause of the abuse to go for trial and get prosecution done against the who has done the abuse. And sometimes neglect of the old people, neglect of the children, these all can be also amount to injuries or the certain law problems. So we should also be very careful about preparing the report in this cause. Prevention and public health. Analysis of injury reports can identify pattern, trend, risk factors associated with a specific type of injuries. So we should, from these reports, if we go for research or certain other methodologies, we can draw the inferences that which type of injuries are happening and which type of tools are being used, which type of weapons are being used, which type of road traffic accidents are happening, which types of cars are used, which car is having more injury, which road is having more problems. So we can go for the research and can advise the proper authorities according to that which are the prominent causes for the injuries or the accident, and according to that the policies and the draft and the further construction or further law can be made. So we are just not preparing the report, we are just here building the nation also in terms of reducing the crime, in terms of reducing the accident, in terms of improving the infrastructure. So we should not be very much careless on that we are just preparing the report. It has no meaning. It has very large impact on the society also, and we should be holding that spirit that we are doing something very great. Injury reports contribute to the body of knowledge in forensic medicine by providing data for research studies. That providing the data for research studies, academic publication and professional training program. Academic publication, professional training program for the coming generations, for those who are studying in these subjects. These reports are very helpful in teaching also. So it's not like that we are just preparing an injury report. We are preparing a very important document that is kept being using in different scenarios, like in court, like in making public policies, like in research or academic activities. That simple report which is prepared at primary health center or the community health center or the health district hospitals, that all are being analyzed, reanalyzed and read. So it is turned into a data, and that data is being used for further making of the policies or making of the research data and making of the academic activities and program. So we are very in terms of very helpful to these programs. Medical importance of injury. Again, medical legal examination is a part of statutory duties. It is sometimes state binding duty. All registered medical practitioner, irrespective of whether engaged in private practice or in service, they have to prepare the injury report. So, according practice, they have to prepare reports. In that, we have different reports. We as a medical practitioner provide different certificates or reports, one of which is medical certificate, which we are just issuing due to some certain events like birth certificate, death certificate and fitness certificate. These are some of the certificates we provide. In that we also provide sickness certificate and disability certificates. These are the various certificates we provide by analyzing and examining the person. Medical reports which we prepare by our wisdom, that is postmortem report. We do the postmortem and analyze the body for the evidence and the cause of death, and we prepare a report. We prepare injury reports, that in the live person also. So these reports are used for trials and all that. This is also used for trials and further. Report on age. Sometimes some of the crimes are related with the age of the victim or the accused. Then we can, or in some cases retirement age or something age or some marriage in civil suits like underage marriage or overage marriage, or the age discrepancies can be get solved by giving a proper injury report. So every report or every document we prepare has long effect on somebody or everybody, depending upon its relevance and the use. Other reports that we are giving to the authorities is dying declaration. This is one of the another topic, that somebody is dying. It is on the notion that if somebody is dying, then he is at that stage that he cannot lie. It is based on this notion. So we consider it as a true evidence, and dying declaration is being recorded by the magistrates, and depending upon the availability of other people also, and that is kept as evidence. Disclosure of information. Sometimes we as a doctors disclose some of the information of the patient to the authorities, especially the health authorities or the state authorities, because some of the information is important for the people at large, like sometimes somewhere cholera is spreading or tuberculosis is spreading or some communicable disease has come like corona. We have already come COVID condition, which have passed to 1 or 2 years before. So we have that privilege to inform the authorities. So these are some of the reports we generally give to the authorities on some without informing the. This is without informing the patient, and we have to give it that because it's our duty, so that other people may not be harmed. For example, if a cook is having cholera, then he is preparing food in the restaurant, then that cholera can be transmitted to many people. So that should be this should be informed to the district authorities, so that that person can get the proper treatment, and that restaurant and all that can be disinfected, and all the proper procedures can be taken. Similarly, various instances are there where we are bound to inform, and that has very large implications on the public. So let's have this is the one of the performers. There may be different performers in different areas and different authorities have different performers and different way of saying something, but generally we get some of the things are very common, and we should be very much aware about these things. One thing is the serial number. It is a number by which patient has been transferred or patient has been registered. So this number should be very much in clear terms, because all the documentation will be done on this number. So we should not be in very hazy writing and all that. Because this hazy writing and all that, we have biggest problem with that is that we don't we as a we don't get second time. Once somebody has read it wrong, it goes wrong, and write it wrong, then everything is changes. We get many cases here because of the poor writing and or whether we can say that it is not readable properly. So we should be aware of that, and we should get it correctly. Then the place of examination is very important, whether it is a primary healthcare center or community healthcare center or medical college. In medical college or the district hospital, the room also in which it is examined, patient has been examined, that too should be mentioned, because in medical legal reports everything is important, whether the who is patient, a person being examined, who is examining, doctor who is examining, who is on duty on that time, and the attendant or the nurse or the ward boy who is present on that time, camera recorder who is recording the video should be named and documented, and everything should be documented. Who are the persons who are present at the time of examination. Even the police police constable who has brought, his name and his number should be put there. So all the details should be put there, and the person should be everything should be in the pen and paper form, in the writing form. Then date and time of examination, it means date should be there, and time means when it has started and when it has stopped. Both the time should be mentioned. So we should be very much aware that the time is also important. Time of starting the examination and time of completion of the examination, both should be written. Name of the person should be in capital letters. Name should always be in capital letters and should also be cross-checked. Sometimes many people are having nicknames and they do not tell their original names or the names which have been registered in their documents. So we should be aware of the full names, complete name. Possibly we should look for some of the identity cards that have been issued by the government, and that name should be filled here and in capital letter, so that it cannot be misspelled or misread, or sometimes is rewritten somewhere else. So that many times we get that the name is wrong. So for that cases we get what we have a course correction. Suppose somebody's husband has died, pension is there or the insurance policy is there, but we have just because of our some carelessness and all that, we put that name in very fast writing, any very fluent writing, and that is being misspelled or rewritten somewhere else. So patient and this attendant or the victim or the attendant or the relatives of the attendant they get in trouble in claiming the pension and claiming the insurance and all that. So they have to go for the affidavit from the court for the correction of the name. Then it is being corrected. It takes months, sometimes years. So we as a medical person, just because of our little we just I can say that unawareness, that we put some people in great trouble. So name should be very much clear. Age, if any document is there, then we should verify it from there. And sex should be mentioned. Address, this I will emphasize again. Address should be completely postal address, by which the person can be written and can be recalled. Means it should have all the house numbers, street numbers, then the area, then the district, then the pin code. Everything should be there in the address, so that he can or she can be recontacted. So we should not be negligent or we careless in this. Address should be complete. I tell my student every day and in every class that these are the particulars we generally overlook and we generally don't emphasize on them. These are the one of the most important thing, and the documents, especially in India and other cities where it's still the data is in the upcoming process. Collection of the data is upcoming process. Everything is getting digitalized, but still most of the work is handwritten, and still most of the work is being read and reread. And if it is not completely and fully in readable language, then it gets people in trouble and gets us in trouble, and even the person who has prepared the report also gets in trouble. Recently we have got a case in which the person medical legal report was MLC was written in very fast moving language, and it was not very much analyzed, and the site of the injury has changed from one report to another, one document to another, and that medical officer is now in trouble, and we are going into course correction. So everywhere there is happening, and we are just simply, though there is a burden of doing it, but in that burden we are not supposed to commit mistakes. Burden of doing it, and sometimes other things are more important. Sometimes the saving life is more important, but this is also equally important, but we should be emphasizing on it. Then again, still we are going for the identification mark. So we should at least, in my opinion, we should have at least 3 identification mark that can be seen easily, or we can say it can be seen in easily exposed area of the body, generally exposed area of the body, like face, arms and necks and foot, so that we can see it, because identification marks are important. And at most of the time people or the cases come up in courts in about 10 years, 5 years, 10 years. So we don't remember the patient, we only what we have written here, and we will be looking for that. If somebody is having mole here and get amputated during in the coming days, then we will not get the mole. So we should be very much important. So at least 3 points cannot be eliminated or not get eliminated every time. So we should be very much clear in writing and very much clear in anatomical landmark association. That is, if something is present here, it should be measured in 2 directions at least. One direction is here or here or here or here. At least 2 dimension or 3 point identification is there. Suppose it is a mole is here, then it should be how much distance from here, Then again there it is how much distance from here or how much distance from here. It should all be measured so that it can be located easily. If we cannot locate an identification mark easily by our description, then we are in trouble. Because in court sometimes prosecution may present somebody else with the mark with different position, and we will get confused in that. Various identification marks that can be something can be by birth also, and some can be acquired after the birth. By birth is sometimes moles and spina bifida or something appendages and various things, and by after some days person may acquire amputations and scar marks and all that. These are the identification marks. We have different sets of classification for that: acquired by birth and accidental, non-accidental. Various birthmarks are there. We should be aware of that. Some person, if person is not well or some person is accompanying, complete name in capital, then we have address, complete address of that person, complete name and address of the police constable who is present with the person. Then the consent for examination. This is very important. Consent is very important for the examination of the injury, and we should get the consent consent taken properly. Then it is the thumb impression or signature. Suppose a person name is Sunil, then it is Sunil, or then we should encircle it. As a doctor, we should encircle it, write in here Sunil in capital. Then we should sign it, complete date, and then complete our name also in capital, verified by this. Then similarly the witness, we have to do the same. In the presence means the witness detail and the signature of the witness, and that witness signature also should be verified. Or if there is a thumb impression, that should also be encircled, and you should write it left thumb impression or right thumb impression of that person, and that is again we have to do this. Then we should be very much clear that these areas are very much mandatory, and we should not skip it in any way, because these records are open after 5 to 10 years and we don't get the time for that, and we don't remember anything because we get thousands of patients and we prepare thousands of reports, so we will not remember it. We only remember it that what is we have written 10 years or 5 years back. So we should not be lenient on this on ourselves. Then patient particular that I have already discussed is name, sex, full address, age, religion, broad Y,